We need to repeat the question.
So your question is Mithya. Is it Mithya? Is it a combination of Satya and Asatya? Right? Is that question correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So now I cannot give a point blank answer to this because three technical terms are used here: Satya, Mithya, and Asatya. These are technical and precise terms in Vedanta. Okay. So if you ask me, Mithya is a just simple answer. Mithya is the appearance of Satya. Very simple and straightforward answer. Brahma Satya, Jagan Mithya. Brahman appears as a Mithya, a word, Mithya word, in a very simple way. The Asatya is not brought in there. Okay. In a simple answer, Mithya is appearance of Satya. As simple as that. We don't have to bring Asatya there. But I want to explain. So the statement, is it true or false? I would say false. Okay. The statement that Mithya is a combination of Asatya and Satya is false. Mithya is just the appearance of Satya. Okay. So that way I would say. But I want to give a little bit more clarity on this. The words Satya, Mithya, and Asatya have to be understood properly. Satya means a reality which doesn't change. It's like a screen. Mithya is an appearance which changes. Okay. Asatya means something which doesn't exist. So now, typical example which is given for Mithya is a rope appears as snake or the sky appears as blue. In reality, sky is not blue. In reality, snake is not rope. It's Mithya. So in reality, Brahman appears as world. So Brahman is Satya, Jagat is Mithya. In that context, it is said. Now, where is the Asatya came into picture? The Asatya, typically when we teach somebody, we say Asatya means to distinguish between Mithya and Satya and Asatya. Asatya which says it doesn't exist. For example, a horse which flies, it doesn't exist. Whereas a snake which you see exists. I am confusing with the another entity. So the Asatya is something which doesn't exist. As opposite Satya which always exists. So three terms: Satya which is always there, Asatya which is never there, and Mithya which is appears to be there. So three terms we are using. Okay. Now, since the question is very technical with three terms, I want to a little bit elaborate. In Vedanta, many times the word Asatya is also used for Mithya interchangeably. But we have to understand very context very clearly. For a beginner, we always tell Mithya means appearance which appears to be there for some time, like a rope appears to be snake, or a dream is there for some time and dream is not there. That we call as Mithya. Whereas something which is impossible, which doesn't exist, that we call as Satya for a beginner. But in Vedanta, when many rishis speak of many different things, they use the word Mithya and Asatya interchangeably. So when your question in the question is Mithya, appearance of Satya and Asatya, Satya and Asatya are synonymous in some context. For example, when we say Asatoma Sadgamaya, okay, from non-existence get me to truth. No, it's not true. From Mithya lead me to truth. Asat is used, word Asat is used for as a synonymous for Mithya. Mithya means appearance. So Asat is non-existence. We are not in Asatoma Sadgamaya, we are not asking from non-existence, please lead to truth. From perceptual appearance or Mithya lead me to truth. That's why Asat word there is nothing but Mithya. In Asatoma Sadgamaya. So same way, Bhagavad Gita also secret uses Nasato Bhavo. What doesn't exist, something which doesn't exist has no substratum bhava. So now Nasato there, we should not take it as a non-existence. It has to be taken as Mithya, appearance. So Asat and Mithya both are getting interchanged in the different when the different rishis speak. Okay. So then why two terms are brought, Mithya and Asatya? Mithya appears sometime and disappears. Asatya never appears. Asatya cannot appear because it doesn't exist. Mithya appears and disappears. Asatya never appears. So there's two terms are used, Mithya and Asatya. Okay. Something is temporarily appearing. Yes, Mithya. Something never appears is called Asatya. Because it doesn't exist. So now the problem here comes, why some rishis are using Asatya in place of Mithya when they talk. For that, Mandukya Karika has a very clear answer. So the answer of Mandukya Karika is, what is Mithya is really Asatya. How? Something which appeared earlier, which didn't appear earlier, appeared for some time and disappeared sometime. In the beginning, it was not there. In the end, it's not there. In between, it appeared to be there. So Gaudapada says, in the end, in the middle also, it appeared to be there, but it's not really there. That's why he uses the word Asatya in place of Mithya. So Mithya means appearance there. So now why we are using Mithya? Because for teaching ignorant person, we have to start from where he is. Jagat is appearing to me. Jagat is there, overpowering him. We have to say, okay, Jagat is there, it's appearance. Mithya. So then gradually he is made to understand Brahman alone is Satya. So Brahman alone is Satya, Brahman is Advaita, then there's nothing else. Anything else other than Brahman is Asat. So for a Adnani, Mithya is a beginning point to self-discovery. Then he realizes Brahman, then he understands other than Brahman, there's nothing exists. Brahman alone is there. So then anything else if you speak of, it's Asatya. So in that context, we have to say Mithya and Asatya are interchangeably used sometimes. If you ask a very point blank question, is Mithya is a combination of Asatya and Brahman, Asatya and Satya? I would say no, Mithya is appearance of Satya. Is appearance real? No. If appearance is not real, then it's Asatya. So, yes, you have raised a question. Please ask the question.
Asatya is, the example always given is like a flying horse, which would not appear in Mithya also.
Asatya is a flying horse, which can never appear because it doesn't exist, right? What doesn't exist?
Is Asatya an independent word and concept, or Asatya is a relatively used to talk about Satya and Mithya?
No. See, Satya means which is there all the time. Mithya means something appears to be there for some time. Asatya means which is never appearing anytime.
And Asatya, even in Mithya, Asatya cannot appear.
Asatya doesn't exist, no, it cannot appear.
Then how can something which doesn't, non-existent, can be interchangeably used with anything else?
So non-existing, okay, other than Brahman, nothing exists, correct? Brahman is Advaita, non-dual. Okay, but something appears to be existing to me. There's an appearance. On investigation, I understand the appearance is not real. It's not appeared. Brahman alone was there all the time.
No, Guruji, my question is, something like a flying horse cannot come as appearance also.
Cannot come as an appearance if we have a clarity. But in our imagination, a flying horse can appear. It cannot appear really.
Guruji, can we say in Ishvara Shrishti there is no flying horse?
Correct.
But Jiva Shrishti, anything we can create in our head.
Because of our ignorance, okay, we can see the world as separate from Ishvara, world, Brahman. So now Is it real? It's not real. It's asatya. So the appearance is asatya. But still we say appearance is there.
Appearance is asatya.
Appearance is asatya, no, because Brahman only is there, no. See, if you take a glass,
Appearance of object, the name and form is asatya, you mean?
name and form is Mithya. It's called Mithya because it's constantly changing. That we are obviously, what is changing is Mithya. That we are, for us, Mithya terminology, it's constantly changing and it has no substance of its own. Correct?
Prabhuji, appearance is asatya is like oxymoron.
No, pa. For you, the appearance is there. Correct? No, we are starting that appearance is there. We are saying we are not denying appearance is there. Correct? Now, if you investigate, is appearance really there? It's not there. The problem is appearance is there in ignorance. Appearance is not there in investigation.
But for the sense perception, it is still there, no, Prabhuji?
But for a Gnani, with the sense perception, he knows that it's not there. He sees only Brahman. He doesn't see the world.
Right.
Because the difference in between Adnani and Gnani is Gnana Chakshu.
Okay.
Gnana Chakshu means wisdom, not Charma Chakshu.
I think when she means by sense perception, she's talking about the eyes, not the intellect.
Yeah, eyes, I'm saying, ultimately, what makes a difference? Charma, Gnana Chakshu, no? Within Adnani and Gnani, what is the difference? Gnana Chakshu is different. So Gnana Chakshu, when he sees the world, he sees Brahman only. That's why Upanishads say, what is it? Gnani doesn't see anything other than Brahman. Now, if you say, I'm seeing world, that means you are not, you're when Upanishads speak of Gnani doesn't see anything other than Brahman. What is the question? The question is, does he see Brahman or
does he see the world?
Seeing is knowing now. In our mind, seeing and knowing happens. Knowing is always in the background now. Right? See, knowing means here interpretation. Okay. So when I see something rope and I see as a snake, that means interpretation has happened. The rope has become snake. So when Gnani sees the world, he knows it's Brahman. Seeing and knowing happening together. When case Adnani sees the Brahman, he knows it as a world. So now, is there something called world? There's nothing called world. So if you say world is there, then you are ignoring Brahman. It is like saying a necklace exists without gold. Such necklace doesn't exist. Okay. So now there's a question here. Brahma Satya, what is it? Sarvam Khalu is the Brahma. In the real sense, for a Gnani, Mithya world becomes Asatya. No world, only Brahman. Okay, I'll tell you what happens in case of Gnani. When an ignorant person sees something, immediately a thought triggers. This is the fruit and I am the receiver. Subject, object duality triggers as a mental thought. And thought is the object. Thought is the world. So now what happens in case of Gnani? Thought doesn't trigger. This is a fruit. This I am seeing it. There's a nameless experience. In that nameless experience, subject object duality is not there. So now when you say world, it is a world. When you see the world, thoughts arise in our mind. So that's why Ramana Maharshi says, world is nothing but thought in your mind. In case of Gnani, unconscious thoughts will not arise. Then for him, there's no world. There's only Brahman there. A pure experience of awareness is there. So now world, what has happened to world? It's no longer appearance. It's Asatya. I mean, if you have to put a word, if you have to give a name to that. So Brahman is Satya. What he sees is Brahman is Satya. There's nothing other than Brahman. He can't see anything. Then what happened to world? World is Asatya now for him. World means name and form. But world as Brahman is Satya for him. He sees the Brahman only as a world. Whatever he sees is Brahman only.
So either it can be Asatya or it can be, you are saying both are possible. You are saying he is seeing the world as
See,
Brahman.
No. See,
And
you
you
have
are
to
saying
understand.
world is non-existent.
No, pa, you have to understand appearance. Once you investigate and find the reality, the appearance which was real becomes Asatya.
Becomes unreal. For your, in the earlier question, you said the unreal becomes unreal for a Gnani, whereas unreal becomes illusion for a illusion for Agnani. Hence, Agnani suffers.
Back again.
In the earlier question, you said Mithya, unreal. He understands, Gnani understands that as unreal, hence he
doesn't suffer. He doesn't suffer. Correct? What is the meaning of unreal for you? So unreal means it is not there. Isn't it?
No. It is there, but it is not understood properly.
No, it is there means what? What is there is Brahman only, no? Nothing else is there, no? Other than Brahman, nothing is there, no? Other than Brahman, can anything be there?
So you are saying something is there.
Where? Where I'm saying? I'm saying it is Asatya. There is nothing other than Brahman, nothing is there. Asatya.
Other than Brahman, nothing is there. So whatever is there is Brahman. Is that
Correct.
right? I am
That's what I'm
saying
saying.
we are not denying the appearance. We are saying appearance is Brahman.
Are Baba, appearance was Brahman in the beginning, appearance was Brahman in the middle, appearance is always the end.
See, Guruji, non-existent means Asatya means appearance itself is not there. We are talking two things here. Appearance is not there. Appearance is Brahman.
So, if your question is about perception, okay, right? Sense organs and mind working. Is it a question related to that? For a Gnani, sense organs and mind work or not? Is it a question?
Even Gnani doesn't deny appearance. Gnani says appearance is Brahman only.
Correct, Appa. Because Gnani has a body and mind complex, no?
Non-existent means appearance itself is not there. I mean, the whole world is not there. Non-existent word has to be clearly defined, Guruji.
That's what I have to try to define to you. Okay, listen carefully, right? What is the word for you? What is the word? Where is the word for you?
In the mind.
My word is nothing but thoughts in the mind, correct? There are no thoughts, no word, no?
Ishvara Srishti also we can say.
Whatever is that. Word is nothing but thoughts in the mind, ultimately for you. Are we clear? Yes or no?
Yeah.
If there are no thoughts, no word, no?
Yeah.
So in case of Gnani, thoughts will become, unconscious thoughts will become almost near zero or zero. In which case, whatever you see, is there a world for him or not?
He's interacting with the world, so he has thoughts, in which means.
See, if your mind is thought free, is there a world for you or not?
No.
So for Gnani, mind is, I would say, thought free, unconscious thoughts. Consciously, if he has to interact with the world for Prabhupada Karma, he'll interact. So now what is Gnani? For Gnani, world is there or not there?
It's there.
Okay.
Because he's interacting. If it is there, if he's interacting, it implies that it's there for him.
No, for
otherwise
him,
he would not interact at all.
For him, there's no sense I am interacting because there's no doership, there's no subject-object duality. Is the world there for him or not? When you say Gnani, world is there, that means Gnani is there, world is there. For him, there's no he and the world, there's no two.
If subject-object duality is not there, there is a experiencing happening. Even that implies that something is there.
Experiencing happening, okay? But subject is not there, object is not there. And all experience happening, he is a Mithya. His appearance is not such. Appearance is what appears and disappears is not there really in reality. So now this is the understanding which triggers in the mind of Gnani. So that means for him, there is other than Brahman, there's nothing else is there. Now, if you want to logically and say that Gnani also sees the world, you can do that, but that's not what Gnani state is. I told Gnani state, all right? First, world is nothing but thoughts in our mind. If you ask a question to Ramana Maharshi, sometimes you have to wait for 3 hours Because there are no thoughts in Ramana Maharshi. There's no world. There's no questioner there. But after that, some answer will come. Now, even if the answer comes, I am the one who is answering the question. That doership is what I'm saying, individuality is not there. So now, should we say that the world is there? Technically, from Gnani's point of view, there's no world. There is no other than Brahman. From Gnani's point of view. Now, your point of view, Gnani is there, world is there, you can gay. But your point of view, don't try to superimpose on Gnani's point of view.
So the movement of his body, or he taking care of his body, or cooking, or whatever other stuff he's doing, implies that he is acknowledging the existence of something.
That is, please understand, Gnani's viewpoint and people who see him, their viewpoints are very different. For Gnani, he is not a body, he is not a mind, he is not entity. I repeat that. Nanu, Nanembudu, Nanalla. Idheya Manabuddhi, Nanalla. Sachidananda Atma Shivanam Nani. So for him, he is not the body. Okay, now, when if he is the body, then he is a doer. He is not a doer. If he is the body, he is an experiencer. He is not experiencing anything. Then what we call him, it's his viewpoint. Okay. Now I am trying to speak from the Gnani's viewpoint. So he has understood that he is nirvikalpa. He has nirvikalpa Gnana. Subject object duality is not there. Akhanda Ananta Brahma he is. So from Gnani's viewpoint, that's life. So now, is there a thought for Gnani? There's no thought for Gnani because he's nirvikalpa in that sense. Now, Gnani's body is functioning. I always said that is because of prabdha karma, which is residual in the body. People see Gnani is walking, Gnani is talking, Gnani is interacting. So then say Gnani is also having the concept of world. From Gnani's point of view, it's not there. From our point of view, it's there. So now, whose point of view we should discuss?
The whole discussion is from Jiva point of view, right? Gnani
So
point of view. Gnani point of view, Ajatavada again.
So from Gnani, I've told both the point of view. Now you pick and choose which one you want. Why it's Gnani point of view is told to Jiva? Because you can also be, it's also your nature. No, if we keep on thinking our own nature, existing nature, then we will not understand what is reality. No, reality has to be told. This is what happens to Gnani. Gnani's point of view has to be told. That's why Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads speak of Jivan Mukta Viveka, Jivan Mukta Lakshana. What is important Jivan Mukta Lakshana for me? I am not a Gnani. Then you will not, you don't know what is reality, no?
Okay.
So now your question is, I'll tell from Gnani's point of view. From Gnani's point of view, there's no world. One line answer. Okay, world is Asat. Only Brahman is Sat. Other than Brahman Satya, there's nothing else from Gnani's point of view. So now from our point of view, Gnani is walking, interacting, talking and all. So that's why one answer is given. Because we are in Maya, we see body of Gnani. We have not come out of Maya. Gnani has come out of body. For him, there is no body. So we see the body, then answer is given. His prarabdha karma of the body is continuing. But he has no sense of doership, no sense of enjoyship, no sense of knowership. That's the answer given to us from our point of view. Now, which answer we have to pick and say there is something there to perceive? From what point of view we should say that perception is there?
Yeah, because you said he has a functional ego, all this comes into picture.
That also, all those explanations are for our purpose. No, we have to give an explanation of Gnani walking, talking, and all. No, from Gnani's perspective, I already told. No, so he has become Jivan Mukta. I am not the body. That clarity has set in. So if I am not the body, I am not the mind. I am not a doer, and I am not a knower also. Sakshi is not any of these. No, na karta, na ham karta, na abhokta, and adnata. So I will say first level example. I don't want to suddenly go into that. First level is you say understand it's a car, automatic car. Okay. So you are thinking that you are driving, but the car was driving by itself. It's not automatic, but you had the illusion that you are driving the car. Correct? That illusion is separated out. So there's a limitation of car example. In case of Gnani, for him, the body doesn't exist. Only Brahman exists. Brahman is he, not
so car doesn't exist for him.
Brahman only is there. That's what is called Gnani, Purna Gnani.
No, maybe Brahman is there should not be a following thing. I'm asking, car doesn't exist, that's all. What exists?
When I say Brahman is Advaita, means is there something else other than Brahman? Advaita means non-dual. There's nothing other than Brahman is possible, no?
Okay.
Right? See, our confusion is coming because we are looking at Gnani's viewpoint and our viewpoint. From Gnani's viewpoint, somebody has written Advaita Gnana. For him, other than Brahman, nothing is there. So anything other than Brahman is Asat. Mithya finally turned out to be Asatya for Gnani. Appearance was there for Adnani to start with. Finally, Gnani understood appearance also is not there. Only Brahman is there. So Mithya and Asatya are related like that.
So we have come to the Paramarthika point of view.
Gnani's point of view. So our confusion happens because the question has to be either answered from Gnani's point of view or Adnani's point of view. But when we give the answer, we have to give both viewpoints. Then finally you have to choose which viewpoint you want to pick up. So Gnani's point of view, it's very, very clearly said that for him, other than Brahman, nothing is there. So nothing is there means Asatya, no? Everything what we call as, from our point of view, for him, even that Asatya concept doesn't come. That's a different thing.
Yeah.
So why I brought Asatya? Because of this reason. So that's why Mandukya Karika, Gaudapada Acharya very clearly brings out. Initially, it's assumed that some Mithya is there, appearance is there. So then he says Mithya appears and disappears. What appears and disappears, what appears in the beginning and disappears in the end, is not there in in between also. All the time is Brahman only. So even that concept of appearance is trying to remove through Mandukya Karika. We'll be left with the concept of something appearance is there. Even that is not there for a Gnani. That's the viewpoint of Mandukya Karika. Ultimately, it boils down to what we call Ajativada, no creation. So this comes a step-by-step approach of Vedanta. Vedanta is a very step-by-step approach. It doesn't suddenly say no world is there, nothing is there, and all. It says, oh, world is there and you are there. Okay. Yes, it accepts that. So the first it says, world is Mithya. It's an appearance. Brahman alone is Satya. Now you have to find out. For a seeker, it's told Mithya and Satya. Mithya is appearance. Now he has to understand why it's Mithya. Enquire, who am I? Finally, he understands Mithya appearance also is not there. Only Brahman alone is there. So it goes in two steps. This is called Adhyaropa, Apavada. First, accept whatever you say. Don't deny it first. Then gradually remove the concept that world is also there. Other than Brahman, something is there. So it goes in many steps. Many times it goes in multiple steps. Adhyaropa, Apavada. Accept tentatively, then deny. Accept tentatively, then deny. It's called Adhyaropa, Apavada. Yes.
Yes, now it's very clear, Guruji.
So why did I bring in the concept of Mandukya Karika there? Why did I speak of Asat and Satya and Mithya? I didn't give a point blank answer yes or no, because I wanted you people to understand all the dimensions of the problem. Not just it is not an objective type question. This is not a spirituality is not an objective type answer yes or no. You have to understand the entire dimension. That's the purpose I brought all the dimensions. So the very simple answer would be there. Find out who you are. And I keep quiet. That's also an answer. But by bringing out various dimensions, you look at the problem and appreciate from various angles. That's the objective.